Well, in the long history of the sordid Epstein saga, this is the first time an allegation like this has been levelled. A survivor saying a sexual encounter took place with Andrew at a royal residence. She goes on to allege that the former prince took her on a private tour of Buckingham Palace before the pair had tea together. The woman, who was in her 20s at the time, says she was sent to the UK by Epstein, with the encounter itself taking place inside Royal Lodge. The mansion King Charles ordered Andrew Mountbatten Windsor to leave when he stripped his younger brother of his titles late last year after constantly tarnishing the royal household through his connections to the convicted pedophile. Those sordid connections continued in the latest US Department of Justice file dump, with images emerging of Andrew on all fours above an unidentified woman on the ground that he's yet to make any comment about. Since then, British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has urged Andrew to come forward with information to aid survivors and victims' families. So far, the disgraced former Duke is yet to move out of his Windsor mansion, let alone be extradited to the US to give testimony before Congress.
Oh, my lord. Actually, I need to rephrase that. Whoever said Western politics is sound, fair, democratic, clean, yo, the scam is happening right under your nostrils, and yet you can't smell. Versus in China, the corrupted king and queen from the 11th century is still slapped and spat. The statue still kneels before the public for betrayal and wrongdoing. So Lord Peter Mandelson of the House of Lords, perhaps the greatest position one can hold in the UK, his antics say otherwise. Prime Minister Keir Starmer believes that Peter Mandelson should no longer sit in the House of Lords, following the revelation about his link to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mandelson has resigned from the Labour Party, saying he wanted to avoid further embarrassment and was already facing disciplinary action. Newly released US documents suggested that Mandelson forwarded internal government email to Epstein while serving as business secretary in 2009, and that Epstein may have paid him $75,000 in 3 transactions in 2003-04. Mandelson denies any record or recollection of this payment, calling the document potentially false. How can he not remember the money that you got? This is a huge amount we're talking about. So now the Prime Minister has ordered an urgent Cabinet Office review into Mandelson's contact with Epstein while in government, though he lacks power to strip Mandelson of his peerage.
A political storm is growing in Britain after fresh Epstein files showed former Minister Lord Peter Mandelson exchanged emails with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and allegedly shared sensitive information. Mandelson says he's deeply sorry for misguided contacts, but denies wrongdoing. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer says Mandelson should leave the House of Lords and face his police review, while Conservative and Lib Dem leaders blame Starmer's judgment and demand inquiry. Mandelson says he never knew about Epstein's crimes at the time and claims the outrage is being exaggerated. He admits past associations but denies any wrongdoing. The revelations raise questions about judgment, transparency and accountability at the top of public life. People online are saying the links are troubling and deserve scrutiny, while others argue there is no evidence of illegal behaviour. Some feel his response lacks remorse, others say the reaction has gone too far. Should past associations be enough to damage a political career, or do facts matter more than optics?
His nickname was literally the Prince of Darkness. If you were interviewing for a candidate in your office and you found out that his nickname or her nickname was the Prince or Princess of Darkness, what would your reaction be? Keir Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to the United States of America in defiance of advice from our intelligence agencies. That's just my opinion. It's widely reported among many reputable news outlets. And why was that? Well, now we're seeing the reason why. Not only did he continue a close friendship with somebody after it was clear that he was a paedophile, now, as a result of revelations in the last 24 hours and emails we can all see, he was engaging in giving Jeffrey Epstein information about Gordon Brown's resignation before the public knew about it, and ahead of a euro bailout that moved currencies across the globe before the public knew about it. If you believe that the buck stops with the executive, I cannot see how you cannot be calling for the leader of your party to resign today.
I want to apologise to those women for a system that refused to hear their voices and did not give them the protection they were entitled to expect.
You apologise for your association with him after his conviction.
That system gave him protection and not them. If I had known, if I was in any way complicit or culpable, of course I would apologise.
But you won't
for it.
For your association with him after his conviction.
But I was not culpable. I was not knowledgeable of what he was doing, and I regret and will regret to my dying day the fact that powerless women were not given the protection they were entitled to expect.
Tonight, the DOJ's latest batch of Epstein files revealing new connections between the late convicted sex offender and other powerful men, with another data set posted overnight. One of the documents appears to be a 32-count draft indictment prepared against Epstein before the non-prosecution agreement he reached in 2007. It reveals the government was looking to charge 3 co-conspirators alongside Epstein with a conspiracy to procure women under the age of 18 between 2001 and 2005. Their names are redacted, but they are described as assistants who helped schedule appointments, make calls, pay victims, and more. Some new images also appear to show Britain's former Prince Andrew kneeling over an unidentified female. There are no details provided about the circumstances or timing of the photos, and there's no indication of wrongdoing in these images. He has denied prior accusations of sexual abuse by one of Epstein's victims and has never been criminally charged.